We're talking with Liz Brannan and Taylor Godin, two actors taking on the prize-winning Night Mother. This eloquent, enthralling, and ultimately shattering play explores the final hour in the life of a young woman who has decided that life is no longer worth living. We discuss getting into acting, their roles, how they prepared, and the kinship of the La Crosse Community Theater. You can find more conversations, food reviews, live music, and events on our website, lacrosselocal.com. I'm Amy.
And I'm Brent.
And this is La Crosse Local.
My name is Liz Brannan. I was born in Indiana, but I grew up here in La Crosse. My folks moved here when I was 3 or 4, so I only ever remember living here. Gosh, I got into acting because I was exposed to the Olsen twins at a young age. And I thought, if they can do it, why can't I? There's only one of me, so much easier to control. I had a family that was always interested in theater. My grandparents took me to see Annie when I was like 6, and I immediately was completely smitten with the whole thing. And had I known then how much work goes into it, I think I still would have chosen to do this. I love getting to perform, and being off stage for so long has been awful. And it's great to just be back on stage again.
Yes, my name is Taylor Godin. I was originally born in Madison, Wisconsin. I grew up in Middleton, just outside of it. And I came here to La Crosse because I went to UWL, and that was like 12 years ago now. I got into acting, I think, because it was my way out of sports. My dad really wanted me to try new things every year, and he was trying to get me to try different sports. And so I just told him that I was going to do plays instead, and I wouldn't have time to do both. So I acted in a lot of things in elementary school and middle school and high school, and went to theater camps. And I kind of took a break from that for college and a while after. And so it was really nice to start acting with Live from La Crosse. Both Liz and I are a part of the sketch comedy group Live from La Crosse. And from there, it's just been looking for more opportunities to get on stage again. And it's been a great experience.
We're chatting about the play Night Mother at La Crosse Community Theater. And your roles are kind of unique to this play. What's it all about, and kind of like, how do you guys fit in?
Such a great question. So Taylor and I actually play the same role. Due to COVID protocols and just the fact that we're both phenomenal actresses.
Awesome.
They double cast this show. So when you're looking at your tickets, myself and Stacey Bremer will be performing on the odd numbered performance days, and then Taylor and Marcia Rubinelli, we're on a first-name basis. They'll be performing on the even numbered dates. So yes. We play the same part, and it's kind of, in a cast of 2, the main character. She definitely drives the action. It's her choices that really lead to the events of what we see. I don't know.
Yeah, it's Jessie and her mother. We play Jessie, and basically it does deal with some heavy themes, as you mentioned. We like to be upfront about that, so that people know what they're walking into. We think it creates a really important discussion, but it can be, like you said, heavy. So Jessie is a woman who has decided that she wants to end her life, and this is the night she has decided to do it. And she decides also to tell her mother a couple hours before she plans to. And so the entire play takes place in their home, with this discussion of why she's doing it and why she shouldn't, and that sort of thing.
With it being such a, using that word again, heavy show, how do you prepare, and like, how do you maintain in some sense?
We had a counselor.
We did.
We had a decompression specialist come in and talk to us, just kind of about strategies, because some of the things Jessie brings up, even though the show was written in the 80s, which is longer ago than I realized, there are some things that still ring true when she says things like, I read the paper, I see how things are outside our house, and it doesn't seem like they're going to get any better. Those are the moments where you kind of have to step back and go, it's just a show. Let's just take a breath. So for me, it's been a lot of kind of closing the script and leaving Jessie at the theater. And as we progressed through, that got more and more difficult. And we'll see, now that audiences are in front of me, if that is a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah, I agree. I think I find it difficult sometimes to just compartmentalize it, but you do what you can. The more you do it, the easier it gets. I mean, you hate to say you get desensitized to things, but that is sort of what happens as you're trying to learn these lines, these very heavy lines. You have to know them very well, and you have to say them a lot, and you have to be able to do these characters justice, even if they make you sad. And I think, we've had a lot of support from Stacey and Marcia, who are also going through this with us, who have also very heavy parts and a difficult emotional load. So it's been wonderful to work with them and with the production staff, because everyone is so understanding and we can have really open conversations with each other.
When this kind of came out, when they said they were going to do this play, what intrigued you about it? Or someone reach out to you, or what made you think like, this is what I want to do?
We have opposite stories.
You go first.
I don't usually do this, but this year I actually looked at what LCT was doing over the course of the year. They make their announcement of here is the year's worth of shows. And I saw Night Mother on there, and I had heard of it before. I knew it to be a small cast and a sadder play. I feel like I'd almost heard jokes about how sad Night Mother is, because it's up there. If you think of what a sort of melancholy play looks like and a character study looks like. And so I thought, you know what, I'm going to read that. And I purchased the play ahead of time and decided to read it a few months back, and read all the way through it and cried a bunch, and then decided yes, I think I would like to do this show. It would just be really interesting. And I think I've never done anything quite like it before. And I think I'd like to give it a shot.
I love I cried a bunch was one of the indicators.
She's always crying. That's just what she does.
Well, it makes sense. That's okay. That's all right. That's all good.
I had no idea what this show was about. In fact, I had been having kind of a rough day, and I got a message from our director, Mary Kate. And she was like, hey, will you come to callbacks for this? I'd love to hear you read. I needed a little win that day, and I had never been personally invited to an audition before. So I was like, yeah, that'd be great. I'd love to do it. I'll see you tomorrow. And then, being the professional that I am, I Googled the play. And I was like, oh no, what did I agree to? And then, being the professional that I am, I was like, there's no way she'll cast me. And being a character actress, I walked into the audition and went, which part am I here for? Like, my young theater career was very much, I played the old lady. When you're in high school and don't have access to actual old ladies, you have to use the next best thing. So I was like, oh no, who am I here to read for? What am I doing? And she had me read for Jessie, and I was like, oh, there were so many amazing actresses at that audition. There's no way she'd pick me. And then the next day I got an email, and I was like, oh God. Okay, but it's been an amazing experience. Sometimes you just kind of have to walk into things a little bit unsure, and sometimes be a little more optimistic. I think that's my big takeaway is like, let's believe in ourselves, just like 10% more. Even 10% more would be fine.
Just a little bit. It seems like COVID's been going on forever. So I always ask this question because it's kind of interesting. Some people have had some experiences over COVID that have been beneficial or detrimental, of course, for 99% of the population. But how has COVID kind of affected this production? Are you even aware of it anymore? Is it just the new normal for you, or how does it feel? You have multiple different actors playing the single role. So there's that, but like, how has it been?
Well, we wear masks for every rehearsal. Actually, it was funny. We had our Tech Sunday a couple of days ago, and that was the first time we did the show without masks on. And Marcia, the mama for me, said she kept getting distracted from her lines because she had never seen the bottom half of my face before.
That's awesome.
And I hadn't really seen hers either. So that is definitely one way that it's affected things. Like, just being able to do the play without a mask on was so liberating.
Yeah, I mean,
nuts.
The masks are different because, you get used to wearing a mask to the store. Or I've worked from home the whole time. My company sent me home in March of 2020. So never had to wear a mask for any extended period of time. But doing all of that talking with a mask on. If you don't have the right kind of mask on, you just come home and you're like picking little cotton fibers out of your mouth for the rest of the night. Like that's your evening now.
That and like they have a good policy there. They ask us to get regularly tested for COVID. So like at least once a week we get tested. And if you have any symptoms, you have to go right away. And if you have symptoms and you don't have a negative test result in, you have to Zoom into that rehearsal. I had to Zoom into my first one. Liz had to Zoom into one just to be cautious once. And, we make do. We've been doing the best we can with it. I think they have a good policy to keep everybody safe in place there.
Just seeing all the new shows, like you said, the release of the year of the lineup, it seems like there's a new sort of energy that's down at La Crosse Community Theater that's super exciting. Is there anything that you're excited for that's coming up, or personal or otherwise,
Mm-hmm.
I'm really excited for the Lizzie Borden musical. I've always loved the story of Lizzie Borden. That sounds weird. If my parents read this or watch this, I don't love it for that reason. I just find it really, really fascinating. Like, it's just a wild story. And the fact that someone made it into a musical is just like, okay, cool. Yes, let's do that. It's very cool to see things that are specifically for women, things that are specifically for people of color, things that are different, not the same thing that we've seen, but still making space for things we've seen before. They're doing The Sound of Music and Next to Normal in the same season.
Mm-hmm.
That is a juxtaposition that if you're a theater person, you understand that that's really cool. That's someone who's saying we pay respect to the old ways, but there's new stuff here and we're doing it.
I think like a lot of the smaller shows that are happening now, obviously like all of the shows in the Black Box Theater are women driven and women led this season. So we've got, Night Mother, we'll have Single Black Female, will be auditions for that are coming up. I mean, The Mountaintop was a 2-person show that got to be in the Lickey Theater, the larger theater. It's just really cool to see these like more character study and relationship driven type of shows alongside, mainstays like the musicals that we've been seeing. So it is a new energy, I think. And I think everybody there who's working on it should be really proud because it's a very exciting season so far.
Well, that's great. One thing I want to tell you is actually the counselor's my wife.
What?
Who came and who did some, were you making fun of her or anything? I should have asked that.
No. Amazing.
We loved her.
Yeah, Melissa Fan. Fan in counseling. Yep.
No,
I just wanted to share that with you before.
I've only ever heard amazing things from people who have worked with her and sitting in with her even on one session was just like, okay, I get it. I get the mystique. Okay, yes, into it. Like Godin 100%. I'm like, yes, she could start a cult. I'm into it.
Yes.
Well, that's awesome.
I would join her MLM.
I'll let her know. So, well, I'm glad it's been helpful for you guys. It's a real tough play. It seems awesome. I mean, it's definitely something that I want to come check out. So at the La Crosse Community Theater, if people want to find out more, what's the best spot to go to?
The community theater website is a super great place to go. I don't know it off the top of my head.
LaCrosseTheater.org.
You can just put it right here.
Too bad this is just audio. So
right here. I'm pointing under my face.
So people can
check their Facebook page too, the La Crosse Community Theater. They do a lot of posts. They've been doing great with keeping up with like how are rehearsals going for various shows, when are auditions happening for various shows. So you can check it out there too.
Yeah, LaCrosseTheater.org. And every time I hear it on social media, it's like they're selling out of shows, they're adding shows. So make sure to get your tickets early.
Yes.
La Crosse Local Podcast is a production of River Travel Media. Do you have an interview idea you'd like to share with us? Message us on Facebook at La Crosse Local. Find out more about us at lacrosselocal.com, and you can subscribe to the La Crosse Local Podcast on your favorite podcast app. If you like us, rate us 5 stars. We appreciate it.